Welcome to Buzzard's Corner of Love. Think outside the box, where you can do something unusual and still be okay, where you can think something different and shake up your daily routines. That and so much more, angels. I am Heather Buzzard of Buzzard's Corner of Love, bringing people back to themselves, where we uplift and inspire you to become more who you truly came here to be. Thank you for joining with us today. We put our link, buzzardscorner.com, in the chat below. If you'd like to check out our website, we put up a new blog posting today called Rebirth. Where in your life are you having a rebirthing season? Wherever it may be, share that with us. Put that in the comments down below. Check out our blog posting over at buzzardscorner.com. BUZZARDSKORNER, Buzzards Corner with a K.com. As we continue our theme of the month, which is rebirth and renewal, today we're going to speak to you about the spiritual and philosophical rebirth and renewal. And you may ask, well, what does that have to do with anything in my life? But you just may be surprised at how the universe speaks to us without us even being really consciously aware of it. So I'm going to start out with the definition of spiritual and philosophical rebirths. And that often refers to the cycles of life and death and a new beginning and or physical or spiritual beginning. So where in your life are you having a new beginning spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally? In your life, there's got to be a new beginning because that is a cycle of life. When something ends, a new beginning happens. So just contemplate and ask yourself, where in your life are you beginning anew or ending something new to start anew? Just think about that. Reincarnation is part of the spiritual and philosophical symbolization, and it's known as rebirth or transmigration. And that's the philosophical or religious concept that the non physical essence of living beings, benign a new lifespan, and a different physical form or body after their biological death, meaning they cross over into the unseen energies and they take on whatever it is they choose to take on in that manner and that lifestyle. So that's a symbol, that's a philosophical symbol of rebirth. And as we move forward, we got here. So you may ask, well, what else is there to know about rebirth and renewal? Well, I will say this to you, angels. The three main spiritual philosophies are Judaism or Hinduism, Buddhism, and Christianity. Those are the three main spiritual philosophies. And if you've studied any of those philosophies, they're pretty similar because they all speak of Jesus and they all speak of the Christ spirit and they all speak that we have that Christ spirit within. So we here at Buzzard's Corner of Love are going to focus on our Christ spirit within. As we move through this Easter season, Easter was this past Sunday, and that was a rebirth, a reincarnation, a renewal. Where in your spirit have you had that happen in your life? I'll speak for myself. Next week, we're doing a show where it's springing to the new you. So I'm going to show up differently because this last month, I have moved through a rebirth and a renewal. And it's been an interesting experience because what I've come to know is that it isn't me living in just having an experience for just this one day and having it in this one compartment. It's bringing that out into the world on a daily basis. Now, I'm sure Sundays the churches were full or halfway full, more full than they have been on a Sunday. Yet, when do we take that Sunday feeling out into the world? And that's what part of my personal rebirth and renewal has been. And we'll share that with you next week as we step into the new you. Yet, as we move on, a rebirth theory is that the reincarnation is the philosophical belief that the soul or spirit after a biological death begins a new life. So angels thinking that this will be over when we die, that isn't so, because life is never ending. And knowing that life is never ending, how do you deal with that? How do you hold that in your beingness, knowing that as we transfer, we as a country really don't speak about death, but it really isn't a death. It's just a rebirth, a renewal of ourselves in a different form. So where in your life are you having that renewal of yourself in a different form, in a different manner, whether you're behaving differently or you're thinking differently, or you may be doing something differently? I know for myself, I am thinking differently. I am speaking differently. I am behaving differently. And that is because of the internal work that has taken place within myself, angels. And when we do that internal work, which we spoke about on this show many times, when we do the internal work, it has to show on the outer. The simple fact that I have earrings and a headband in it and a more feminine energy flowing speaks volumes to those who have been watching for the last couple of years, because of how I've shown up before. So it's a transitional energy, and it's a never ending energy, and it's an energy that always and consistently is in our life. Philosophical spirituality is spiritualism in philosophy, is the characteristics of any system of thought that affirms the existence of immaterial reality, imperceptible to the senses. So I'll say it in how I understand it. What they're saying is when you have faith and you believe in the unseen, what you believe in will come into your life. Do you have that in your life? Are you creating, having that where you're choosing to strengthen your muscles, so to speak, in the unseen energy and have a rebirth or a renewal in that manner so that you can see what it is that you desire into your life? And angels, get your favorite beverage. I'm thirsty, so I've got my iced tea here today. Take a sip. So as we contemplate rebirth and renewal, ask yourself this question: am I willing to really walk through the darkness to get to the newness? Because I tell you, angels, we have to move through our shadows in order to get to the light. Even being born, we have to go through the darkness to get to the light. So, are you willing to walk through that darkness in whatever area it may be for you so that you're able to get to the light and experience the light and the joy and the peace and the happiness of life? That is one thing I can say about my character. I am a willing person. I am willing to try anything. I'll do anything. And back in the day when I was younger, that wasn't a good quality. Yet now that I've gotten older, I have discretion and discernment. So it's good for me to be willing, because I'm willing to walk that dark path. I'm willing to look at my shadows and embrace my shadows. And it's in the embracing of our shadows, angels, that we really can have a new rebirth and a new renewal in our life. Think about that. Instead of resisting life, embracing it instead always makes it easier. When you resist, you're pushing against. And pushing against doesn't help anything. Doesn't help you with your life. It doesn't help you with your physical body. It doesn't help you in your mind, spirit. So embracing life and embracing what is and embracing what it is that you're creating and having that to come forward to you makes a huge difference in how you can have a rebirth or a renewal in your life. Personally speaking, I mentioned and shared my open heart surgery with you, angels, before. When I went through that process, I had a rebirth and a renewal. That rebirth was coming out of that stronger, physically better, mentally better, emotionally better. And I was secure in my faith. I strengthened that muscle of trust and belief, knowing that God was on my side and that the doctors and nurses and everybody knew what they were doing and that I would be okay. And I tell you, that rebirth and renewal, it was an experience, and the open heart surgery was a symbol, angels, for me to see that I've opened up my heart and I have really began again. Because prior to that, I had had that heart murmur for 50 some plus years. So that is a symbol. So where is life speaking to you in that manner? It doesn't even have to be any of this stuff that we're sharing here. Like I said, it could be just in the story that I told you about my open heart surgery and how that was a symbol of rebirth and renewal. What symbols are you bringing into your life that you may not be conscious of? Because I wasn't always conscious of that this open heart surgery was a rebirth and a renewal until I was. And it was during this month of doing these shows and contemplating and thinking about the different topics and what we would speak about that it came to my realization, well, Heather, you walked through your own rebirth and renewal. You've had to embrace your shadows. And embracing those shadows, angels, I accepted my self-worth. I accepted that I am deserving. I have accepted that I deserve to enjoy life and have fun in life, and that life isn't meant to be negative and brokenhearted and to drag through life. I changed my consciousness. And when you change your thinking, you change your experience with life because it is your thinking that makes your life so. Look at your life. Where you think you can have a rebirth and a renewal in your consciousness, angels. And that comes through affirmations. And we are a big, big, big believer here at Buzzard's Corner of Love in affirmations because it regrooves your thinking. And when you're able to regroove your thinking to where you just think positive automatically, that speaks volumes about how your life shifts. And I can speak about it from experience because we have done it. And because we did put in that time and we put in that commitment and we regrouped our thinking, today we are able to think positive every day on an easy matter. We're able to laugh at life and find fun. Yet there were those times when I was in that valley. And when I was in that valley, angels, it was the rebirth and the renewal of my open heart surgery. It was the philosophical principles of life. It was spirituality. It was all of that that helped me move through this. So it just isn't specifically a rebirth and renewal spiritually in your life at all. Where are you having that? And you can use spiritual tools such as meditation, walking outside in nature, uh, being quiet within yourself, listening to music, dancing, and doing some artwork, walking through museums, all of that to get in touch with the other side of who you are. Spiritual philosophy is any philosophy or teaching that pertains to spirituality. So a spiritual philosophy, it doesn't matter what religion you come from. If you have a spiritual philosophy, you can apply that in your life. Hinduism, Buddhism, and Christianity, they have spiritual philosophies, those three, like we said earlier in the show. And they are applicable to up in your life if you so choose to put them into your life. Yet you have to have that willingness to do that. As we move on, you could say, well, what is the purpose of a spiritual rebirth and how does it make you a better person? Well, it seems to us, angels, that a spiritual rebirth makes you a better person because, like we said with ourselves, going through that rebirth and renewal, it makes us stronger. It makes you have more faith in yourself. If you believe in yourself. And it also helps you to restart past efforts or past ideas or things of that nature that you had put aside. So spiritual rebirth and renewal bring in the new, and it brings you something to begin again. As we move forward, angels, I will say this. What happens during a rebirth? You go through feelings, you go through a transformation, you go through an opportunity to recreate yourself anew and a new version and a new vision of who you are. And when you're doing that as a rebirth or renewal in your life, You get to choose how you feel. You get to choose what it looks like, sounds like, feels like, and appears to be. You get to choose the characters that play in the roles. If you have characters, you may not even desire to have any characters. You get to be the author of your story. And knowing that you are the author of your story, are you creating a joyful story? Are you creating an uplifting story? Are you creating a fun story? Are you creating a story that'll make you smile? I tell you, angels, I am happy to be in this space where I am today. Throughout my life and throughout the spiritual path that I've walked, I've chosen to recreate myself anew in a new version and a new vision and feel good about myself, to value my self worth, to love myself, to smile, to laugh, to enjoy life. And people can think I'm weird all day long. It doesn't matter. I'm happy. And that's what we are here to be doing, have angels, is to feel happy and be happy. And rebirth and renewal helps you with that because it helps you shed the old, let go of dead weight, and let you move forward. Forgiveness is a rebirth and a renewal because that helps you move forward. Forgiveness helps you let go of what no longer is, helps you let go of the past, helps you move forward. So, forgiveness in its own way is a rebirth and a renewal, angels. How many of us have something or someone in our life that needs forgiving? Speaking to myself as well. You know the answer to that, whether it's yourself, somebody else, a friend, coworker, parent, spouse, a husband, a wife, child, ex-friend, whatever it may be. Yet it isn't setting them free. Forgiveness is setting yourself free. And I'm only speaking to myself because I'm hearing what I'm saying to me right now in this moment. So Heather, you got some forgiveness work to do. Get on it. Also, angels, when you have the benefits of spiritual rebirth, then you are able to walk in life with the 3 C's: confidence, character, and capability. When you have confidence, you know who you are. You stand in who you are with the confidence and you speak with confidence. When you have character, then the character of who you are, your integrity and the character of who you are speaks volumes to people. And when you have the what was the other compability? Compability. When you have compability, you have the 3 C's. You're able to comprehend life, comprehension. You're able to comprehend life. Comprehension, confidence, and capability. When you have those 3 C's in your life, capability, confidence, and comp comp oh, angels, I'm not going to do this to myself. The 3 C's, when you have those in your life, you can walk through life in an upright manner. You can let your character shine through who you are. You can let your confidence speak volumes just through the words that you speak. And you can stand in your truth and you can be compatible and flow with life. I'm sure that's not what I said in the beginning. I didn't write any of this down, so all of this is flowing through me. So what happens during a rebirth? What happens during a rebirth, angels, is you come out out the other side a different person. And it's because you've chosen to walk through that rebirth that you're doing it in the first place. This season was nothing except symbols and signs. A rebirth with Easter was a reincarnation, was a rebirth and renewal of our soul self. The 40 days of Lent was a rebirth and a renewal in our bodies. Good Friday was a rebirth and a renewal, knowing that the good will come to us, laying down the old, laying down dead weight, etc., so on. So all of this Easter season, all of this month has been symbols and signs of rebirth and renewal. And I know for me, like I said, next week we're going to spring into the new you because of this rebirth and renewal. And I will be a new me because of this rebirth and renewal, angels, that I have walked through this month. So again, where in your life are you having rebirth and renewal? It's easier than you think. Just look it up on Google. It's anything that's new in your life. It's anything that you've never done, or it's something that you've chosen to recreate, to redo in a better manner so that you can show up in a more loving, more kind manner. Like kindness. If you choose to be kind, angels, that's a rebirth and a renewal in your life by just choosing to be kind. So it doesn't have to be anything significant. And like I said, I'm going to share with you next week, as we step into the new you, I'm going to share with you how I have stepped into the new me through using all of what we spoke about this month. So take in a deep breath. Take in another deep breath. Take in another deep breath. Take in another deep breath, angels. And one more. Knowing that 5 deep breaths represents the 5th dimension that we have stepped into. Knowing that what we think and what we speak is what we create. We say thank you, life. Thank you, Spirit, for this moment right here, right now, that everybody under the sound of this voice knows that they have the opportunity for rebirth and renewal in their life at any moment, in any time, in any season. It doesn't have to be just right now. It can be any time that they choose to allow themselves to open up, to allow themselves to drop the dead weight, to allow themselves to drop the path, to allow themselves to recreate anew, to recreate themselves in the next grandest version of the greatest vision ever. We give thanks, Spirit, that you have worked through us, that we have uplifted, encouraged, and inspired everyone under the sound of this voice through our experiences, through our information, knowing that we are being informated with life so that we can get information with ourself, our higher self. We call on our angels, our guides. We say thank you for the support. We say thank you for love, life, joy, peace, happiness. We say thank you for all that we have, for all that we are, and for all that is yet to come, knowing that we are worthy, we are deserving, we are accepting, and we are receiving with gladness, joyness, and thanksgiving as we release these words into the universe, knowing that it is done, fulfilled, and complete. And together, angels, we simply say, and so it is. Amen. Angels, our link, BUZZARDSKORNER.com, is in the chat below. Check our website out, angels. We've got our group coaching packages up there. If you know 3 or more people who'd like to come in for group coaching, sign up for that. We also have our one-on-one coaching as well as video coaching and phone coaching available. You can check that out over at BUZZARDSKORNER.com. We put up a new blog posting today calling A New Rebirth Season. Go over there and read that. Check that out. Share that with your friends if you're moving through that. Angels, join our channel here at youtube.com. Check out our videos and our past videos, our short videos, and all of the information that we have up here. Don't forget, May 6th, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. We will be doing a cleansing and clearing meditation for the New Earth Summit of 2025. We're looking forward to that. That's next month as we bring in this new earth energy and ascend it and plant it firmly here on this planet. Angels, join us for the New Earth Ascension Summit 2025, May 6th, 1 p.m. Pacific Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. You can find that and so much more over at our website at BUZZARDSKORNER.com. BUZZARDSKORNER, BuzzardsKorner.com. Angels, like and subscribe to this channel and help us share this information with more people. Until next week, angels. And next week, we're going to be talking about stepping into the new you. So I will be showing up differently, and I'm looking forward to that. Until next week, angels, I am Heather Buzzard of Buzzard's Corner of Love, bringing people back to themselves.